sure the volume is up. Okay. Whoops. Let's see. Is this working? Let me see. Let me send another request. Weeks now. You think I'd have a better handle on this, but apparently I don't. Hi everyone tuning in. Katy is just about to join me. I sent her a request. Katy, I think if it's your request, it says it's waiting. So let me show you some of Katy's books while we wait. Let's see. That doesn't begin. Hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. Hopefully you guys are washing your hands and staying 6 feet away from people. Let me try again. Okay. Maybe my connection isn't working. So what have I been doing during my quarantine? Self-quarantine, self-distancing, social distancing. I've been reading a lot. And I don't have my... Oh, let me send it again. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, it said it's sent again. It should just be... There we go. How are you doing today?
I am good. How are you doing?
Good. So I was going to ask, how are you doing with quarantine? What are you up to?
We are just trying to fill the minutes. I mean, you've got kiddos, so
yeah,
a little bit older. But yeah, we're doing a lot of walks. We're doing movies. We're doing a lot of reading picture books, and
yeah,
nothing I don't do schedules or anything. That's just
I don't either. My kids are pretty. I mean, my youngest is 4, and so they're pretty self-sufficient. It's actually nice. They just go do their own thing, and then I'm like, well, we're gonna take a 2-hour break from electronics, and then they just go do whatever.
Right now, sometimes I pay my 12-year-old to babysit my 3-year-old downstairs so I can get quiet things done upstairs.
Yes. The older kids are good for that. Okay, so for those of us that are joining now, I am interviewing Katy Upperman. She is the author of these books. Kissing Max Holden, The Impossibility of Us, and How the Light Gets In. So all these covers, by the way, are so beautiful.
I'm very lucky. I'm very thankful.
Yes, I really love all of them. And I really love the pink especially. And How the Light Gets In. It's really pretty. Okay, so Katy, why don't you tell us a little bit about your latest release, which is How the Light Gets In.
Okay, so How the Light Gets In is the most contemporary paranormal.
Yeah.
There's definitely a paranormal element, but it's set in the real world. It's set on the Oregon coast. It's about a girl named Callie who, a year prior to the story starting, loses her sister tragically, who is her best friend. They're a year and a half apart. So when the story opens, Callie is going back to the Oregon coast where her aunt lives, where her sister had died the summer before, and Callie is struggling. She's got a lot of guilt and a lot of grief, and she's just not doing well. So she goes back. She's got a lot of tension with her aunt. She meets a new cute boy who has a lot of his own secrets, and then her sister is lingering there on the property with some business that is unfinished. So
Yes, and I really loved that this book is very atmospheric, and that's like my favorite kind of writing, when you're like you feel like you're there when it's happening, and it was very lovely. So, one of the things that I really love about your books is that you have a very strong author voice, and you'll hear this a lot from agents and editors. Like, I didn't connect to the voice, but so to find that voice is like a huge deal in the writing world, and I think that when it comes to your writing, each of your books are so different, but you know what you're going to get when you're opening up a book like Katy Upperman, like, because your voice is so strong. So my question is, what do you think helps you to make that author voice shine?
well, voice is like one of the things that I feel like comes a little bit more naturally to me. Plotting, on the other hand, is like a huge struggle for me. So voice, when I first started writing, like 11 years ago, I didn't have a clue. I was doing like a lot of like mimicking of authors that I admired, until I kind of grew confident enough, I think, to just embrace what was coming through. So when I stopped trying to copy, and when I stopped thinking about like what my mom would think when she read my books, and like what my husband would think, and I just kind of let all of that go, it started to come more naturally. And well, usually my first drafts sound a lot like the way I speak, and so sometimes like my critique partners will be like, oh, I see, Katy shining through here. So I then have to kind of, in revisions, really think about the character and how that character would be speaking, thinking, like the inner monologue and all of that stuff. So I don't know, voice is such a weird thing. Like, it's not something you can really pinpoint or tell somebody, try this or work on this or practice this. It just it comes with practice, I think, and with a lot of reading and a lot of writing and a lot of feedback, which sometimes resonates and sometimes doesn't. But I think that all kind of combines to eventually, hopefully, create like a unique voice.
Yeah, and I think that's really normal for authors when they're starting out to mimic their favorite authors, because they haven't figured out what their own voice is. But yeah, practice. You keep writing and you keep going, and eventually, hopefully, you get there. And like you said, critique partners are great in helping you pinpoint what's working and what isn't working. Oh, I lost your sound. Why isn't it working? Oh, there you go. You're back.
Yeah. I would be lost without mine. I think that they're invaluable. So
yes, agreed. Okay, so you've written, you have 3 books published now. Do you have, and I know this is like picking a favorite kid, but do you have any favorite characters from your books?
yeah, I kind of do. I have a very big soft spot for Maddie from The Impossibility of Us. It's so strange because he's like the least similar to me of any character I've ever written. I mean, he's a male, obviously. He's a completely different religion. He's very, like some people I've heard call him like a cinnamon roll. Like, he's very soft and sweet. But he just came so easily to me, writing his chapters, which are in verse. Like, I don't write poetry at all, but that just seemed so natural and so, I don't know, just like effortless for some reason, which is not usually the case with any like writing attempt that I make. So yeah, I love Maddie. He's very different from all the other like YA boys I've written and a lot of the YA boys I've read. And so yeah, he's special to me. So.
Yeah, and the writing is definitely very poetic when it's in his point of view, and I really loved it. And he is very soft and sweet, and you just feel like I adore him as well.
My daughter, who's 12, she read that book, and she does not like Maddie, because Maddie, as all characters should, has the secret, and that was like kind of an unforgivable thing for her. She's like, oh, Maddie.
See, I didn't think it was that big of a deal when I was reading. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I can understand why, but yeah, for me it was like, but he's so sweet. It's not like he's like trying to be horrible or like trying to string her along.
I feel kind of understandable, hopefully. So
yeah, yes. Okay, so Next question. Are you a pantser or a plotter?
I am mostly a plotter. I am kind of a hybrid, I guess. I always plot like chapter by chapter. First, I do like goal, motivation, conflict. Like, what does the character want? Why do they want it? What is standing in their way? That's like always what I really, really start with. And then I use like a romance. I have a book somewhere, like a romancing the beat, I think is what it's called. So it's like Blake Snyder's beat sheet for screenwriting, except it's with a romance specific slant. And so I start with that and like try to hit all the high points, and then I do like a chapter by chapter outline, but it's like very flexible and very fluid, and I end up making a lot of changes to it. But I have found that if I don't have an end in sight, that it's like impossible for me to finish. I just will write and write and write and write. And so I have to have a roadmap before I start, even though that roadmap never stays like in its original form. I like to start with that. So
yeah, and I found that to be true as well. If I don't know how the book is going to end, I just keep going because I don't know where to stop.
It's too messy for me. So you plot too?
I do a little bit, but like a really rough outline chapter, sometimes chapter by chapter, but mainly like the main plot points that I want to hit, and of course the ending and how do I get to this ending. For my current project, I did not have an ending, and I didn't know what I was going to do, and it ended up being like 96,000 words. And then I was like, you know what? I need to just stop and figure out what I'm doing. And so I was trying to force the ending to one thing, and I realized I need to stop forcing it and just let it happen naturally. So yeah.
I'm very good at coming up with like a situation, but to come up with like an actual plot arc is such a challenge for me. I have this script that is half done. It's been half done for like 7 years, and I love it. It's like set at a Dirty Dancing kind of camp, and there's all these situations, and there's all this backstory, and I have like 40,000 words that I just keep going over and going over and going over because I have no idea like where to go with it. Like there's no end in sight. I don't have a good handle on the characters. So it's one of those projects where I didn't do enough planning in the beginning, and I don't want to quit it or toss it because there are pieces of it that I really like, and I think someday it can be something, but it's a chore right now.
I have a couple of those as well that are just sort of sitting there, and I'm not sure what to do with them. Like,
if you could just hand me plots, I feel like I could execute them pretty well.
Yeah.
To put them on my own it's a challenge. So
yeah. I think we all have our own like personal writing struggle, and we have our strong points, but then there's always that one thing where like we're constantly trying to work on with our writing.
And every time I start a new book, it's like starting from scratch. Like it never feels like okay, this time I've got a handle on it. It's always
no. I agree. Okay. Last question. What are you working on right now, or can you tell us?
Yeah, I can tell you. I have been contracted right now, which is like kind of strange because I had my first 3 books came out and they were contracted for like 4-ish, 5-ish years. I had like actual deadlines and things I was supposed to get done.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of just this free for all. But it's really cool because it feels like creative and inspirational. So I have a YA book that I did mostly during Nano in November. And it's like it was loosely inspired by the movie on Netflix called Set It Up, I think, where like
I love it.
It's like set bosses, but it's kind of a YA take on setting up. And of course, there's like angst and romance and complicated backstories and all that nonsense. So I'm revising that, and that hopefully will go on submission like, I don't know, end of spring-ish, maybe. And then I'm doing like a collaborative project with one of my good friends that is also hopefully going to go on submission in the near future that I'm really excited about, but we're kind of keeping it close. So.
That's exciting. I love Set It Up. That's one of my favorite rom-coms that has come out in the last few years. And I think a YA Set It Up would be like perfect right now because like everybody wants more like a rom-com-ish books. It's like a thing right now. So it would be really good.
It's been really fun to write. I rarely have ideas. Like I have to think for a long time before I have an idea that seems like it could be a book. And this one, I watched that movie and I thought, well, clearly this needs to be done in the YA setting. So that's what I'm attempting, and we'll see how that all pans out.
I think it'll be successful. I trust you. I trust your writing. Okay, so now I'm going to do these quick little questions, and then do you want to do like do you want to choose a winner? Because you're doing a giveaway of your book.
Yes.
Do you want to choose a winner at the end, or?
Yeah, can we like see who like dropped in, and does it like record who joined? And because
Yeah.
and go on, so yes.
Whoops.
Oh yeah, I think you can see. Yeah, I'll just randomly choose one of these. I think we can see.
Ah. Okay. They're like on your face now. I don't know how to put them back down. To scroll up. Yeah, there's a bunch of people. So yeah. I know I'll have this on like for the 24 hours. I'll share it to my live, and so you can go through and see who all joined that way as well. Okay, so here we go. Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Coffee, tea, or water?
Coffee usually.
Chris Hemsworth or Chris Pine?
Chris Hemsworth is Thor, right?
Yes.
Yes, Thor.
So you're really into makeup. I've noticed that's like one of your things. So lipstick, red or pink?
I like more of like a nude, like a
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. The beach or the forest?
beach for sure.
Yeah, I knew that you were going to pick the beach, but I wanted to just was double checking. Your favorite season?
Summer.
What are you reading right now?
I am finishing Together We Caught Fire, Eva Gibson.
Yes.
Really loving. Like it's so angsty, but then it's like so like beautifully lyrically written, which I don't usually see that combination. And I'm totally loving it. And then I'm listening to Janae Marks From the Desk of Zoe Washington, which is the middle.
I want to read that one. I need to get it like right now. Okay.
It is very cute.
All right. So singing or dancing?
I'm terrible at both. In the car, probably.
Okay. I can't carry. I mean, I can kind of carry a tune. I can kind of dance, but I'm like a goofy dancer.
Yeah. If I've had like a beer or two, I think I'm a great dancer then.
Yeah, everybody's a great dancer after some alcohol. Okay, so do you want to pick a winner now, or do you want to wait until I like put it on to Instagram, and then you can go through and like maybe announce it on your Instagram live or in your Instagram stories?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me today, and you guys make sure to get Katy's books. They're beautiful. She is a very talented author, and I cannot recommend them enough.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to watching more of these in the future. These are really fun.
Yeah. I've got some lined up. Hopefully it'll keep going.
It's a nice little like break in the middle of a long, boring day. So this is good.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. I hope you have a great quarantine. Survive. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.